How in the hell is Outer Worlds getting so much praise out there? How are these reviewers blatantly giving this game just nines, eights? It's it's so shameless. I don't know if these reviewers have been bought out. I don't know what sort of bribery is going on, but this game really doesn't deserve those scores. Almost everything, doesn't matter which Fallout it is, this is just a step back. It really is. There is this such a bland, mediocre RPG. It really breaks my trust in Obsidian because Fallout New Vegas is fun, but this is just this is just a huge step back. I mean, from the start, the companions are just awful. You don't really care about them. There's such a heavy emphasis on having companions, from what it seems like to me, because they even got their own little cabins and everything, but they're just awful. None of them are interesting, and I don't find any of them likable, but I mean, this has been the case in all Fallout games, honestly. They've never really been likable, but in the other games, they're sort of just tacked on, really. You don't really need to have them. They're just sort of tacked on here. There's a much heavier emphasis on that, on having them around. But they just feel as bland as they always did. Just just with the burden of having them around, of needing to have them around. They just help out so much more that it's just better to have them even if you hate them. I mean, they improve your stats. They improve how much you can carry. They're just they don't do much combat wise. I don't know if it's they just do more in the easier difficulties, but when it comes to hard mode, they just die. They're just complete fodder. A few shots, they're down. I couldn't imagine playing this in the top difficulty, where your companions just die permanently. I just couldn't see myself being able to manage my companions that way because they just die. They really they're worthless. Doesn't matter what they're fighting against. They just die. Doesn't matter if I give them the best armor I have or the best weapon. They just do lackluster damage. They're garbage. They suck at it completely. It doesn't matter what weapon, doesn't matter what armor. They just don't do damage. They don't survive. They're always dying on me. So yeah, companions are they're just it's always been a normal trend of being lackluster. They just help you way more when it comes to skill checks. So, but outside of that, they're just garbage. When it comes to skill checks, that's just awful. The perks are a million times more boring. They're just awful. There's no more creative perks out there. There's no mysterious stranger. There's no doing X amount of damage for the opposite gender. There's no health regeneration when the sun is out. Yeah, that's all gone. It's just straight upgrades. It's just, 20% more base health, more carry weight, time dilation. It's just straight upgrades. There's nothing interesting about them. I I hardly even care about them at this point in the game. When it comes to skills, that's another awful thing. They're just bundled up. It's just a blatant casualization of the game. Everything comes bundled up to the point of redundancy. There's this super redundant skills out there. I think the speech skill it has lie, persuasion, and intimidation. It's just pointless. And you often just see it in dialogue conversations where you have to convince someone to do something for you or give you something. And then these three skill checks will pop up: intimidation, persuasion, and lie. And they all have the same exact outcome. Nothing changes, just the wording of what you say, but there's no intimidating them doesn't make them hate you. Lying about them doesn't do anything different. There's none of them have a better opinion of you. They all do the same thing, just It just creates the same exact outcome. So it's pointless, really. I don't see the need for needing three different speech checks there. Just give you one, just call it speech. But just leveling three at a time, I really don't understand that. It just makes you easily a master of everything, or at least highly competent in everything. It's just ridiculous. Builds are pointless. There's no builds in this game. There's your competence in every single area, and exploration is gone. There's no point to explore. In here, there's nothing. There's nothing to explore. There's no environmental storytelling. There's nothing you really see out there that's interesting. You don't run into buildings, seeing dead bodies everywhere, and you're wondering just what happened. It's just go here, go there, side quest. If you just happen to explore an area, well, all right, nice, you cleared up a side quest. You're gonna have to come back there and collect the book or whatever. It's really just a bland game. I don't know where people are coming from saying this game is better than just normal Fallout games, but it really isn't. Inventory is another problem. When it comes to inventory, a staple RPG mechanic, there's a lot of items to loot. You can't loot it all because there's only so much you can carry. But here, you can you can loot everything. Your companions give you a huge inventory boost, and there's vending machines everywhere. Sometimes there's three or four vending machines in a single spot. It really makes no sense. But there's vending machines everywhere in every part of the map. It makes looting just ridiculous. You can loot everything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can just loot the whole map, but you don't have to worry about about how much you can carry because there's always a vending machine somewhere nearby. So you always find yourself, never being handicapped by the carry weight because there's always a couple of steps, down the road, a couple of steps. There you go. You see a vending machine, boom, sell it all. Hey, chance you don't find the vending machine, you don't have to worry because you can just break everything down. Anyways, you can just break down all your weapons and turn them into machine parts, turn them into weapon parts. There's no, you don't need to go to a workbench for that. You can just do it on your own. You can just repair on your own. You only needs 10 points in engineering, which you're gonna have 10 points in engineering because you are. So it's just uninteresting. The story is uninteresting. I mean, say what you want about the previous Fallout games, but I mean, Fallout 4 is usually a main target of hatred, but you had an objective. Find your father. Find your child. That's an interesting objective. It's not really interesting, but I mean, it's an objective. I can sympathize with the main character. So yeah, find your son. Fine. That's good. That's good. It pushes me to want to know where he is. But here, it's just what? Wake everyone up? It's just who are these people? Why? It's just are they my family? I There's no telling. It's uninteresting, and there's no real reason why waking them up is gonna somehow solve all the problems here. It's never really told, but supposedly it is. Reviving a couple of I don't know how many people is supposedly gonna fix everything. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just it's bad. I don't know. I feel like reviewers have honestly lied about a lot of things. They've misleading tons of people because this is nowhere near to the level of your typical Fallout game or even Elder Scrolls game. It's really mediocre. It doesn't deserve the ratings it has.